Lids, let's see, you're asking about ARC B. Um, Actually, Lids, if you could you put that in for next week, and then I'll look it up for you, and that way I can dig it up and give you some detailed information on what I think about the stock. Kim says, "Can I share my options class with my daughter?" Yes, you can. In fact, I encourage you to bring your kids to learn the way you learn. I watched that. I told you all about that documentary I watched about William Randolph Hearst. And this guy, it's kind of interesting. He was a little bit like a Donald Trump type of guy. He was real bombastic and arrogant and stuff like that. But it was interesting because the reason he was able to really be that person and do all these things that he was doing is because his father had really, really left him a legacy of wealth and gave him some knowledge to go with it. So he was able to hit the ground running, and that's really my dream for your kids. Like that's literally my number one dream is seeing you like just do little things like that $5 a day investing plan. You go to boycewatkins.com. There's a link. The ebook is free. There's a book on Amazon, but you don't have to buy it. It's free if you get it. Go to my website. And and seeing your kids, they're starting at 25 years old and they have $250,000 in assets because you were investing just $5-10 a day for them since they were little. That's a power move of epic proportions because what you're going to find is that when you take financial insecurity out of the equation, when you don't have to worry about paying the rent, you're able to then focus on all the things that you really love and the things you really want to do. You're able to really go out and truly live because you're not spending all your time worrying about the car note or the student loans or just the struggle. Struggle takes energy. Struggle is draining. It's draining to always be stressed out and always be worried. Having to sell yourself constantly, whether you're selling your labor to a company or selling your body to somebody so you can get them to help you pay the bills, that's all very draining. So when you do some of the work in advance by just basic investing, like literally set up some sort of an account, stash Robinhood Acorns, put $5 or $10 a day or $35 a week or more into that account. Do not sell the stock. Do not sell the stock. Do not sell the stock. That is not your stock. That is going to be for your kids. And you do that consistently, then what happens is that your child gets to 25 years old, 30 years old, they're able to really play the game of life in a different way. They have something that people talk about all the time, but we don't really understand, which is freedom. We don't understand that in America, freedom really isn't free. There is an economic cost to freedom. If you are trying to be free and you have no money, you can't be free. You're going to be a slave. You're going to have to be a slave for a corporation where they're going to tell you what to do. They're going to make you come to work. They're going to make you spend time away from your family. You're not going to be able to live your best life. So, and I didn't know this until I got some financial security. When I got financial security, I started seeing the world differently from the way I saw it when I had no financial security. When I didn't have money, everything I did was centered around trying to make more money. If I had a chance to make more money versus doing things that were going to make me happy, I would choose to do the thing that was going to make more money because I needed money. There was a shortage of it. But once you have enough money, you then start saying, what do I really like? What really matters to me? The way you pick relationships changes when you have more money. The way a man might pick, the way a woman might pick. If a woman has plenty of money, she's going to choose different from a woman who's desperate for money. So don't put your kids in a position to be desperate. If you have children right now, I hope you'll give me a yes to let me know that you're going to do something that's automated and consistent that is going to allow your child to be in a good position when they get older. Just give me a yes, a verbal confirmation. Let me know you're going to do this because it's really important to me. I really, really need you to understand what I'm saying. You get your kids ready, they're going to be ready. If you do not prepare them, they're not going to be prepared. A lot of you struggled financially in your 20s and in your 30s because nobody prepared you. Nobody had conversations with you about ownership of real estate. Nobody talked to you about owning a business. Nobody talked to you about investing. Nobody saved you anything. You didn't inherit anything. Some of y'all have relatives that died and didn't even leave you a life insurance policy. Life insurance is easy. So the bigger challenge we have right now is really not getting knowledge and access to information. It's really culture. It's like what information matters. What knowledge are you actually going to apply? And as I told you guys in the very beginning, um, you know when I go out and I'm going to different places and I'm meeting you. There's three levels to my engagement to other to the folks that I see. Three levels. One is when the people stare at me. Like I notice I see everything, right? So people start staring, right? And that tells me, oh, they probably know who I am, but maybe they're, they don't want to come talk, or they're afraid to talk to me. But then some of you will come up, and it's like, it's nice that you recognize me. I think that's great. That means we're having an impact. But then the second thing I'm looking for is, did you learn something? Like, okay, are you just excited because you met someone that you think is a little bit famous? I'm honored and flattered by that, but that's not enough. I need to know that we were really listening to each other, right? That's the second piece. But then the third piece, the holy grail, is when you actually took action. If you know how to take knowledge and apply it and take action, then you are in the elite. You are part of the black elite at that point, because what you're doing is you're taking all these ideas, and these are good ideas. Wealth is not hard to understand. Wealth is very easy to understand if you spend enough time with it, and you're actually applying it in very basic ways to your life. This tells me right now that your family is going to be better than 90% of the families in this country. You're going to have more wealth than most white people. You have broken all the chains that were put on you, where they told you that being black somehow means that you're supposed to be poor and you're supposed to be struggling. Also, you've learned that that's just not true. So that's what I want. I really want to see you take action, and that's really what's going to make the difference. Okay. So by the way, if you have a question, John, I see your question in the chat, John, and I'll go ahead and answer it. But if you have a question that you want me to see, put it in the Q&A section. And we're going to talk a little bit about the market as well. Let's see. Will students in the options class be receiving the same offer as the one made yesterday? Want to know the monthly offer for current options students? Yeah, the offer that was made yesterday. Basically, if you go to drboyceprime.com and you hit the monthly option, you do monthly offer, that takes 40% off the monthly fee. If you do annual offer, that takes 40% off the annual fee. So that's all one word. So the code word is annual offer or monthly offer, and the website is drboyceprime.com, and I'll put the URL in the chat. So and that offer is available again till midnight tonight, and then at that point we're gonna shut that down for a while. Now you'll still be able to get in, but you have to pay full price, and the full price is which I still think is a great value, especially compared to what people spend going to college so they can learn a bunch of stuff that's in books. This is real stuff you can apply right away that will increase your income. If you are able to invest even modest amounts of money, you'll see your monthly income grow almost instantaneously. And the great part of it is not just the information, the mentorship, but there's accountability there. And also, I really like the idea of having kind of the financial therapy, financial support groups for you and your families, because if you can get some, maybe three good friends that are as serious as you are, that can all put in a little bit of money apiece, you can really scale up your income together as a collective. Because remember, with the stock options, to sell them, you have to buy 100 shares of stock. Sometimes the best deals are on companies that are like, $200 a share. So buying 100 shares of a company that's $200 a share, that's $20,000. That's hard to come up with on your own sometimes, right? For a lot of us, right? So, but if you have three or four people that are all doing it together, then that's an opportunity for you to make money, and then you just split the profits and split the proceeds, right? And so working with family really works. I do this with my family. We pull our money together. I make money for everybody. They love me now. I go to the family reunions. I'm the most popular person there, and so ultimately, that's what I really want to encourage you to do, is to consider ways to do that. So that group therapy session from my therapist wife is designed to help you get along with your relatives, because a lot of Black folks, we struggle with that, because we just, we have some chaos, we have some trauma, and traumatized people have to work a little bit harder to get along, not be easily triggered, to deal with business disputes, to deal with misunderstandings, things like that. Okay. And Regina says, nobody in my family cares about the stock market. Let me just say this to you, Regina. Once you start making money and you start showing them results, they're going to pay attention. They're going to pay attention. Think about it. We don't even, I'm just to be honest, I'm not saying that, I dislike white people. Like, white people are fine, but we don't really like white people that much. Let's just be, I mean, as a collective, in terms of what they've done to us, let's just be honest, right? I'm not saying that we're racist or we hate people. No, no, but like, would you really hang out with some of these weirdos at work if you didn't have to? Would you really want to be? No, you wouldn't, right? You got people you can relate to, right? I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying that all white people are terrible or whatever. I'm just saying that that's really true. But you do spend a lot of time with them, and why do you do that? Well, you do that because they have money, they have what you need, they have resources, right? And resources means they have power. So what I want you to do, and is I want you to apply the things that I show you, so that when you have resources and you have power, people will have to listen to you. people will want to be around you. People will follow what you're doing. And so that's because that's my experience in my own family. I have relatives who have nothing in common with me, but they want to learn everything from me because they see that whatever I'm doing over here, they're like, okay, whatever. I don't know what he's doing over there, but whatever he's doing is working. And they want to learn how to improve their lives. Almost everybody wants that. Okay, so let me keep going. All right, let's see here. Ronald says, will your 11th step to buy a stock be included in the options class? You're talking about the Dr. Boyce method, Ronald. The drboycemethod.com. That's my 11-step process where we did the Black Stock Option Stock Market Weekend. That is not part of this program. That's not included there. However, if you hit up the support team and just tell them I sent you, just say I signed. I'm in the options program, and I'd like to. Dr. Boyce said he would give me a special offer on this particular program. It's the drboycemethod.com, and they'll take care of you. They have authorization to do that. So we operate on the honor system. All right, so let's get back to the market for a minute, and you can put your question in the Q&A section if you have a question for me. So right now, what you're looking at is you're looking at a market that is, as I mentioned earlier, very jittery. It's very jittery. Jittery means that it can go way up at any moment or way down at any moment. And so, in a way, I would think of it almost like how you would deal with a jittery person. With a jittery person, you can't be as jittery as they are, or everybody's just going to go crazy. So with this market, it's going to require like a lot of patience. It's going to require you to not overreact to things. It's going to require you to be observant of opportunities that will emerge as the market jitters. So remember, if you're a good investor, you can make money if the market jitters down. That's when you go in and you start buying as much as you can, or you can make money when the market's going up. That's when maybe you sell off, some assets, or maybe you sell some call options, or you buy some of those cheap put options, or something like that, right? The big moment for this week is going to be when those inflation numbers come out. I'm looking here on CNBC. There's a lot of analysis right now on this meme stock rally that's been taking place. You have Bed Bath and Beyond and AMC and GameStop, and all these companies are starting to kind of wake up. And what's interesting is that the movements of these meme stocks is causing a lot of people, myself included, to kind of really reassess what this means from an investment standpoint. I do not think that the meme stocks are great long-term investments still, because I believe at some point they'll be exposed for having the true intrinsic value that they really have, which is very, very low. But if you are a savvy investor and able to kind of move with the wind, you can make money from the meme stock craze. And I told you with AMC, a lot of people are buying the call options. And that means the prices of these options are going up, up, up. So if you are a seller, remember, when the price of something goes up, you don't want to be a buyer. You want to be a seller. So if you're selling options on the stocks that are where the option prices are going way, way up, then you can make money. But the problem is, what happens if you see your stock prices drop, right, with the volatility? Well, you could ride the Bronco and just buy the dips and just kind of, take advantage of that opportunity. Maybe if you have put options in place, the put options will protect you from the lower bounds of the stock. But with meme stocks, the put options are actually more expensive than the call options, because what you have, which is really interesting, is you have an army of people that believe these stocks are going to go up, but then you have an army of institutional traders that believe these stocks are going to go down. So what that does is it increases the price of almost everything related to that stock. The call option prices go up, the put option prices go up. So it's kind of a tough area to trade, but there are opportunities there, and I think it's worth taking a look at. But just remember, if you invest in a meme stock, you could lose all your money. Now here's an article I read today that was really interesting, speaking about the streaming companies and the streaming wars. And so here's what they said in this article. It's on CNBC. They said the company that comes out on top in the streaming wars may not be Netflix or other usual suspects, according to Needham's Laura Martin. The analyst said investors should be far more wary of mega cap tech giants Apple and Amazon, which are a growing threat to the streaming incumbents as they leverage their considerable businesses to build up their video platforms. Now, that's an interesting point. How many of you saw that Amazon just released a new Lord of the Rings trilogy that's like has a budget of like, or not a trilogy, it's a series. The budget's like $500 million. I don't know if y'all saw that. That's insane. I don't know if that's a record or if that's the highest anybody's ever spent on a TV series, but it's got to be like top five. I don't know. I don't think Game of Thrones spent $500 million on the season. I remember they had one episode that was like $10 million. That was a big deal. So these companies are coming in the streaming space like absolute gangsters. Like, I mean, they are coming in with baseball bats swinging. And I'm really curious to see how this plays out, because here's what's going on. Netflix is in the precarious position of having to make money from its content, right? Netflix basically makes a simple deal with you. Pay a monthly subscription fee, we give you content. That's all we give you is content. We don't have anything else to give you except content, content, content. Amazon comes in and says, the content's free, but if you're a Prime member, right? So if you join Prime, we'll just throw in the content, because the content is just an advertisement for the stuff we got in the bag. So while you're here enjoying our free content, we know you're probably going to buy something else. So it's almost like somebody it's like, so think about it, it's like two examples. Like, imagine if somebody says, I'm a musician and I'm hosting a concert, and the concert tickets are $10 a piece. Everybody buys a ticket that you get to come see me sing. But then let's say you have another store that's like a Walmart, and Walmart says, we're going to have another musician that's just as good that's going to come sing in our store for free. But you got to come in our store to hear them sing, because we know that while you're there, you're going to buy stuff off the shelf, right? So they're making their money. They're just making it in a different way. Amazon is like that Walmart example, whereas Netflix is kind of like the company that's making money from the concert tickets. You understand what I'm saying? Give me a yes if you're following what I'm saying here. So I think that the Amazon model is gonna be the one that dominates the future. Why? Well, because that's what's already happening on the internet. I know a ton of rappers. Half of them are broke. Make that 80%. Most of the rappers I know aren't making any money from their music at all. What most rappers have started doing is they've realized we can't sell music. We stream our songs on Spotify. We're getting a thousandth of a penny per stream or some crap like that. It takes, we get 1 million streams. I get a check for $80, whatever, right? I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but the numbers are terrible. You do not make money from making music anymore. That content has no value in a direct cash transaction. However, there are ways to make money from the content. Well, one simple thing is, they still do concerts, right? So that's still kind of there. However, a lot of artists have actually started using the music to market a product, or using their the brand built from the music to be able to market something else. So you look at a rapper like Nas, who's making more money than he ever made by making music. He's not making his money by making songs. I mean, y'all probably can't name the last Nas song or the last Nas album, but Nas is making his money because he's Nas, and he's connecting with these tech investors who are using his brand to promote some sort of technology. Or maybe if he was to make a song, it would be something that connects back to a product. I think Jay-Z started doing that early. I think he had an album where Sony bought 20 million copies in advance or something, and they put it on their Sony phones, and basically you got the album for free if you bought a Sony phone or something, right? So these are sorts of the ways that Apple and Amazon are making their money. Apple isn't living off of streaming revenue from subscribers the way Netflix is. Even Disney, even though they need to make their streaming revenue, they're bleeding money like crazy. Even Disney has a million things going on, to the point where they can lose money on the streaming revenue, and make their money on the back end. They can say, okay, you know what, we'll just use this space to advertise our theme parks or our merchandise and make our money in the back end. Netflix is in danger, because all they really have for you is content. They don't have any other way to make their money right now. So it says here that Apple and Amazon are winners of the streaming wars in our view, because they have virtually unlimited resources, best in class, walled garden, first party data. Okay, excellent data, top notch tech teams. Okay, that's important. Martin expects the two tech companies will edge out their rivals as they expand into global digital advertising and start ramping up for live sports rights. Global digital advertising, which represents a total addressable market of $650 billion annually, would generate more revenue for the companies. Amazon already has about $35 billion in advertising revenue, while Apple is in the process of building its advertising platform. So they're going to start making money from ads, which is interesting. So now they're stepping into Facebook's domain. So what I like about these companies, I just think you can't go wrong long term investing consistently in companies like Apple and Amazon for your kids. Sure, there might be some short term weakness in the stock prices, but These companies are just so good at making money that, one thing that I do is I just buy, if I get extra money, I'm buying shares of Amazon. I'm buying shares of Apple, and I'm just holding them. I'm not selling them. I'm just sitting on them for years because I know that it's going to make money. Over the past 2 years, large advertisers increasingly shifted dollars to streaming video as the number of households with smart TVs installed jumped during the pandemic. The note read. Meanwhile, Apple and Amazon's entry into the bidding wars for live sports coverage is a threat to all streaming services that are attempting to attract the increasingly fractured consumer attention. They're competing alongside video games and consumer generated content platforms such as TikTok. Breakthrough hit content that can re-aggregate large audiences increases in value for advertisers as it becomes increasingly rare. Martin wrote, just a few sports, movies, or TV franchises have the ability to re-aggregate mass audiences. So that's basically saying, like, if you have a blockbuster or two, that can bring people together. Or if you pay money to host the Super Bowl, you can pull together all those customers and get them linked into your platform. These content assets become more valuable over time. Martin believes Apple, Amazon, Disney, YouTube, Roku, and Vizio will emerge as streaming war winners, while pure play companies like Netflix, they didn't put Netflix here, but I'm saying pure play, meaning that's all they can do is stream, that do not have other assets to offset losses are at a structural disadvantage. So what they're basically saying is that the strongest companies are the ones that have a plan B, like that have backups. And it's you think about it, it makes sense, right? It's like if I have a basketball team and I've got, one player, that's not as good as a basketball team that's got five players, that can back each other up. Even if that one player is really, really good, you can't have a basketball team with one player. So it's probably a bad analogy, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like Netflix will be like a basketball team that has one really good player. And then you've got Disney that's got 4 or 5 players. Amazon's got 5 or 6 players. And so it looks to me like what they're basically saying here, which I don't disagree with completely, is all these companies. Roku is still iffy to me. I don't know if Roku is as strong as Apple, Amazon, Disney, and YouTube. But also Disney stock has really taken some hits. I think this is a great time to get involved with some of these companies though, because once the economy starts to flip and move in the right direction, these stocks are all going to do well in the next 5 years. Okay. Still, losing the streaming wars may be a winning strategy for some companies with deep content libraries, Martin said. We expect consolidation to drive upside to film and TV series library values for the next 5 years, and smaller companies that own hit content IP intellectual property to be takeover targets. So what they're saying is that there's going to be a consolidation within film and TV series libraries, right? So I guess that means that they're going to have some mergers here in the next 5 years, and also smaller companies that have hit series on their platforms could be taken over by bigger companies, and they could benefit from that. Evidence includes Disney's acquisition of the Fox library, Disca buying Warner Media, and Amazon buying MGM. We believe Netflix choosing Microsoft as its SSP streaming services provider, which makes no sense to anyone in ad tech, is a strategic first step toward Netflix trying to sell itself to Microsoft. So they believe that Netflix is going to be bought by Microsoft. If Netflix gets purchased by Microsoft, Netflix stock is gonna blow up. And all the analysts basically believe Netflix is dating Microsoft because Microsoft is going to get on its knee and propose to Netflix, and Netflix will come in as the bride of Microsoft or the child of Microsoft. That might be a better way to look at it, not the bride, because men and women are equal. We know this, right? So maybe that's a bad way to describe it. Let's say the child, right? Because Microsoft is going to be the boss, and Microsoft is making a lot of interesting strategic moves because, as you know, they made that big acquisition of Activision Blizzard. And I'm really sort of in my mind framing how they're going to be moving into the metaverse, because when the metaverse comes around, you've got different players that are going in with different objectives. You got Apple that's actually creating their own little, goggles and whatever, just like Meta's doing. But I think Apple and Meta are going to have different objectives in the metaverse. I think Meta is more social. Apple's still somewhat social, but not quite like Meta. Microsoft isn't social much at all. Microsoft is industrial in my view. I think I can see Microsoft working with companies to build factory simulators in the metaverse. So the metaverse is going to be a big player, and I think Microsoft has really positioned itself well to really, get in there. And in fact, with the metaverse, one other thing I read, and by the way, the article that I just read is on CNBC. You have to have a pro account to get this article, but the article is called Top Tech Analyst Sees Two Surprising Stocks Coming Out on Top of the Streaming Wars. So, but you have to have a pro membership to read it. So what I see, with Microsoft is, or actually, sorry, scratch that. Let me go back to what my original thought was. I read an article that basically said that a lot of these companies that are going to be metaverse leaders are trying to get together to form some universal coding standards for the metaverse, so that the metaverse won't be like a bunch of different metaverses. It'll be one big metaverse that's completely connected across different platforms. I think that would be awesome. I really do. I think that would just create a whole different reality. And if you haven't tried the metaverse yet, like if you haven't got an Oculus or something, you may want to try it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Me and my wife meet on the metaverse sometimes, and we go to the movies together. And you can rent a movie, and you're sitting in the living room with each other's avatar, and it feels like you're really in the same room with that person. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years. In 10 years, it's going to be pretty phenomenal. So don't be scared of the future. I don't think you have to be scared of the future. All right. So anyway, that's pretty much it. It looks like I've answered all your questions. Just as a reminder, if you still want to join in the options training and mentorship program, you can actually go to the link. I'm going to put it in here, or you can go. It's at drboyceprime.com, and the code word to get the annual discount, 40% off, which is available until midnight tonight, is annual offer. And if you want the monthly option, you can use the code word monthly offer, all one word. So make sure you put it in as all one word, annual offer or monthly offer. You can get the discount. It's at drboyceprime.com. And we get started this week. So you will hear from me this week. And we're going to jump right in right away. This program is designed to help you make money right now. And that's what I love about it, because this is actually how I make money right now. I make money from it yesterday. So feel free to take a look and join us. Just one more reminder, it's drboyceprime.com, and the code words are monthly offer or annual offer. All right, so it was great talking to you guys. I'll see you guys next week for class, and please have a wonderful day, and happy investing. I hope you make a ton of money. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.